Hello again, people of YouTube. It's InfernoRemastered, and this week we're doing my Let's Build. Now, last week, Rage set the challenge of making a chamber as large as possible. So, since he did not find my chamber last week of the email I sent him, I have built him a Tower Frustration 2. Now, I come across a couple of my own problems. It was if anything, I think it might have been more frustrating for me to build than it was for him to play. I had to change my ideas so many times, which I'll go through with you guys how and why. So, right, let's start a new chamber, and I'll show you how I've made it this week. Right, so let's go ahead, and first things first, I need to make all the portable walls non-portable, just so if I do it later it takes twice as long. So, and I don't want Rage glitching any of my maps. I mean, twice on the rebuild, I don't really need to do it because this is not the map he'll be playing the one I've already made. Right, and it has to be a maximum size chamber, so let's go ahead and make this as large as possible. That's the largest, it'll go that way, and that way, and finally, stick the ceiling all the way up. Right. Now, I wanted to originally build my chamber kind of like the first Tower Frustration, and in doing so, the way I was going to do that was with some glass, and just rotate the glass like so, and I was going to stretch this piece of grass all the way across in one direction, and then all the way across the other direction, so it makes a floor for him to walk across. I can have a puzzle on there, things to kill him, then he'll drop down to the next level. Now the problem with that is I could only pretty much make 1.5 levels, simply because for every square this glass takes up, the glass takes up an item. So by the time I've covered this floor and stretched the glass across halfway off a second floor, I could not place any items anywhere because I'd already used too many items. In fact, I created 3 or 4 floors and tried to render the map, and it didn't even say too many items. It was just erroring. It was just because I realised that I was probably about thousands of items over too many that the map could work with. So instead of having whole floors, I've had to narrow it down and have kind of levels throughout, little surfaces. So instead of covering the whole section, and in fact, there were so many things I wanted to do on this map, but literally because this first floor just took up so many items, I had to get rid of sections. I wanted there to be like a mouse. I like to reset my map, so if Rage does something near the end, he gets sent all the way back to the beginning. I could not lay a single light more. I could not do. I had to get rid of all the lights. I was so stuck on because I had to make things I'd already made less complicated and easier to complete to make other things more complicated, which was really annoying. And it took me so long to try to make this map reasonable enough that it's still going to be a good map to play. Right, so the first challenge on my map was fairly simple. I think I just placed on the ceiling a downwards laser, and let's put my entrance in the right place. It's going to enter up here. Right. Now, the first thing first, because he did not play my map last week, I'm going to be extra main this week, and straight away, there we go. Straight away, there's going to be an eye level laser. I can't hide anything on my map because it's a maximum size. I can't place anything behind a wall. Plus, that takes up extra items, so it was just too difficult. So the map didn't turn out as well as I wanted to. If I had a limited amount of items I could place on the map, it would be it would just go on forever. Just constantly killing Rage until eventually he gets to the bottom. But yeah, fortunately, I I can do that. Right, so there's a laser facing downwards, and the idea of the first area is simply to aim this at a block on the far side. They need to be lowered so we can leave it on the ground. And he needed to put it on this block to get past a second laser. And I also had... Right, hold on, let's see. Right, so let's move that to there. So there was also another laser here. That was ground level, so it was unavoidable. And that was again a kill laser. Okay, so the first challenge. Oh, I still haven't set my cube. Need a cube. There we go. Which is quite cool. You can set the cubes to drop on the glass, which is pretty good. And this was a laser. No, not a spear. Yeah, reflective cube. Yeah, that was right. So he's got a reflective cube, and hold on, this was off. Yeah, there we go. So we shall grab the cube, and he needs to aim it at one of the receivers. One is just going to be annoying, one is just going to reset the cube, so he has to walk back and pick the cube up and try another one. One is going to activate the laser, which will kill him because he's going to be stood in the way, and the other one is going to deactivate the next laser, so he can continue along the first level. And right, now I need to set up the end of this first section. Is that right? Yeah, that's right. So the next puzzle, there's two puzzles here which I'm now creating. One is going to be he's got to get past a turret, and the second one he's going to have 3 holes to drop down. Two of them, there's going to be a laser beneath the hole. 2 of them won't deactivate the laser. He will just jump through. The laser will kill him. The third, if he jumps through, it will deactivate the laser, so it shan't kill him. So he's got a choice of the holes. Right, I can just... No, I don't want to copy that. One I can copy. If I not, no, I didn't quite make this wide enough. To stop Rage jumping down at the beginning, I've set a laser there so he can't jump all the way down to the bottom and continue. Now originally I had the laser, instead of it being sideways, it was this way, it was flat on the ground, and it was too wide, so just to be annoying he can't jump over it, but that took up 2 slots and not 1, so in the end I had to rotate this back so it wasn't as frustrating as before. So no, I remember how I've done this. I've done this wrong, so I need to create my gaps. So that was only 1. That was only 1. I think this was, yeah, this was only 1 as well. And the last piece of glass. Now I had to raise, you can see this last bit of glass is raised slightly more than the other, simply because the trigger inputs, if you notice if I put this beneath here, this trigger here, it's now... I can't see. This is another problem I had with the chambers. It's so large. So this trigger input is beneath the glass, but there's a small amount of it above the glass. So when I had this in the gap, when you walk towards the gap, because you are activating it, you could see that if it deactivated or didn't deactivate the laser. So this way he's not going to know what's happening until he jumps through the gap, hence why I have the little raised section there. And right, so we had somewhere along here, that must have been down here then, a light bridge, and we had another laser. I think that laser was... These aren't in the same place as they were on the final map, but you'll get the gist. And we had a turret in the corner, facing that way like so. Right, and see, I had a lot more buttons here. I had to narrow it down to simply 2 buttons. I had more options, but if I had like 4 buttons, I think, but originally. Now, 1 button will deactivate the beam bridge, meaning you can't get to the turret because the laser's in the way. The second one, I think, just deactivates them both. Yes, it deactivates both of them. So you just can't get to the turret in time. It will shoot you before you get there. So what you need to do is I think the beam bridge is, when you deactivate the beam bridge, you're just far enough from the turret to not be killed, so you can run back, grab the cube again, so you have to go back to the first section, aim the laser at the turret to kill the turret, then can press the other button to activate the laser, and then you can continue. So that was the second puzzle. This puzzle, I've done this wrong, there was a third hole. So hold on, this section was even wider then. So I've had another one of those. This laser. So this is the problem. It's just manoeuvring round a full-size chamber is just what's making, because you can't click on the map. You have to click on the white. Just made it that much more difficult to build the map. That one needs to go another one. And then this one, just go to that way. There we go. So Mr. Turret was back here. There we are. And right, so down to the next level, we had laser. It was up there. So jumping down the correct hole. Now originally I had it so the laser was off, and I had 2 trigger inputs. So two of them would kill him, turn the laser on, and one wouldn't turn the laser on. But then, because I had too many items, I had to change it so 1 trigger input would turn the laser off, and not have 2 trigger inputs, just to narrow it down, because this whole top platform. This whole platform takes up so many items. I was trying to think of something else to go in its place, but I did like the first items, so I decided to keep it in the end, and I had to change up some of my later puzzles and make them less difficult. This was one of them. I think originally I had a lot more holes. I had to narrow it down. So this next platform, I think this was. It was too wide. I had to narrow it all the way down to just 1 wide, I believe. Simply because I did not have enough items. No, did I change this to a bridge? I can't remember. I think I found out yes, I changed this to. I'm pretty sure I changed this to a bridge. I did. Because instead of having a whole layer of glass, I realised that a beam bridge just counts as 1 item, and that goes across the whole length of the map. So that would work a lot better than using glass. So instead of taking up about 10 items, well, more than that, that's probably about 50 items going a length of a map, I use up 1 item. So you would drop down, there would be a laser here, so you can't jump off the beam bridge. Yeah, that's right. And then I just simply had 1 piece of glass halfway along, just to stop you from. That was right, yeah, to progress you any further. Now, I had to narrow down the options. So on here, I had some faith plates on the wall. I think I narrowed it down to. Was it 4 in the end? I wanted to have 5, but I had to narrow it right down. Okay, now I'm not going to aim these, but I have one of these. Yeah, one of these sends you on to the next level down. One of them sent you back to the beginning, and what did the other ones do? One sent you. One had a very low trajectory. Let's take that one right across the map. Which sent you through this laser just instantly. So it was quite funny because you'd die, yet your body would still get projected all the way across the map. And I can't remember what I did with the fourth one. I think I actually might have narrowed it down to 3. I can't remember. But you'll find out when you watch Lage play his map, which hopefully you've probably already watched. If not, you may enjoy it even more by watching this first, because you can see what's to come and see how well he gets on. Now over here, again, because I couldn't really make a floor, this was more of a sort of a floating section. So I had a wah 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 beam, as Rage likes to call them, and underneath I had just set some lasers just so we could not jump down, jump down to the ground and skip this whole segment. Now this is my evil segment. This is my revenge section. To be honest, what am I doing? Change that to a laser. Because this has, I think, 6 options, and he's got to get them correct to get through to the end. So I had 1, 2, 3. Let's do it the quicker way. 4, 4, 5, and 6. Now, these buttons, I'm not going to see, this is my OCD. Even though this isn't the proper map, I've still got to line them all up. Right, and I also had a lot of lasers as a type. So I had 1, 2, 3. I think I had as many lasers as I had buttons. That's right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have one at the end. I think I had one at the end. Right, so some of the buttons would deactivate the lasers. I think one of them I'm going to start disabled. So one of them, the button's linked up to, so if he pushes the button, it will turn the laser on, therefore killing him. I think the very first one, because Rage loves to push buttons, the very first one actually just does nothing, and there's a trigger input. Oh, I've dropped it down over there. There's a trigger input just after the button, and this trigger input turns the laser off. So he actually does not need to push the first button. The second button he needed to push, which turned the laser off. The third button, I think, had the laser off, so if he pushes the next button, that would kill him. And then the last 3, I think the last 3 he needs to push up. So this one he pushed to turn this laser off. One of these, I think this button was connected to the beam, so it would turn the beam off and he would drop down through the laser. So it's just another way of killing him, really. And the final button would also deactivate the laser, and then he would go through another trigger input. I think there was one more button at the end. There's one more button on there's one more button on the end. You had to push, which turned off these lasers on the bottom, so it's safe to drop down, and then the trigger input just turns the wah 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 beam off, so it sends him down to the next level automatically. So if he doesn't push this button here, then he's not going to be able to continue, because he will get to the trigger input and I'll just drop him down through the lasers. Right, then the last level before the ground, again I'd use my beam bridge idea. This actually made this more difficult. So here I had 2 beam bridges. So he drops down, and because he's moving in this direction, he actually drops down, he lands on the far beam bridge. And I had lasers set underneath the beam bridge. So make that a little bit wider, and a laser on the side, and lasers. and all he has to do, this isn't really a test, but this is more of a checkpoint, so this he needs to take a cube on the end of here down to the bottom. If he doesn't take that cube down to the bottom, the last puzzle is not solvable. So if he does manage to glitch any of the rest of the map and manage to jump, especially with these jumpers here, because you can push the arrow in the direction to stop yourself being fully propelled and jump down to the bottom of the map. So if he does try to glitch, he can't complete the last puzzle because he needs to get the cube from here. And the only way to do that is to drop down from the second puzzle here. So he needs to use the correct one and finish the puzzle. So that way he can't glitch the map. So I've made sure of that. So he has to get this cube here to finish the map. And this cube is a reflective cube, and I just because I run out of things, I couldn't have them respawning. So if Rage manages to destroy one of the cubes in some way, shape or form, the respawners, they're not going to respawn. I'll have to restart the whole map again because I could only afford to have the one respawner. This last cube here also, when he drops down, it does reset this first spawner, so the cube he would have left on the laser facing one of these will reset, so the laser will continue down to the ground, which you'll need to use again on the last puzzle. And this last cube, I had 2 trigger inputs on it, so because he lands on this far beam bridge, if he just walks along that one beam bridge, I had a trigger input down here just next to the cube. So if he was to walk along this bridge, this trigger input will deactivate this bridge here, so he just drop down to the lasers. The second trigger input was here, so if he goes onto the other bridge, which will stay turned on, this trigger input just deactivates this laser on the left, so we can then pick up the cube and jump down to the final level. On the final level, like I said, I like to involve puzzles as well as just killing things to kill Rage. So I wanted to have a master reset. I wanted to have just a faith plate randomly on the bottom here. So if he jumps on that, it shot him all the way up to the top, right back to the beginning. But I couldn't find a way. I didn't want to destroy any of these puzzles any further than I had already done. So like here, I had more trigger inputs along here for him to have to jump back and forth. But I had to delete half of them in the end. So just otherwise, half these traps started off 100 times worse. But I just ran out of items, and I did originally just have some kill puzzles on the ground, which I didn't like in the end of my original map. So just because it was all kill puzzles, which, to be honest, a lot of people don't find just watching Rage die. It is very entertaining, but it's nice to watch him try to figure some things out as well. Watch him struggle to solve a puzzle. Now, most people, this is actually, you can do this puzzle yourself on a piece of paper and a pen. You draw a grid of dots like so. So a square of dots, 3 by 3 by 3, and these are all in the wrong place because they need to line up. Oh, they need to line up with this laser. Obviously, won't be able to solve it. I think I might have even done. I think I did them wider apart. So I think I did a gap of 3. I'm going to do a gap of 3 now. And he also has 3 cubes down here. 1, 2, 3. So you can actually do this puzzle on a piece of paper with 4 dots. If you draw 4 dots on a piece of paper, 4 dots? What am I saying? If you draw a grid, a square box, 3 by 3 by 3 on a piece of paper, just put the dots on the piece of paper, and you start at one of the dots, and you have to draw a dead straight line, and you can only draw, I think it's 4 lines. 1, 2, 3, yeah, 4 lines. You can only draw 4 lines, 4 straight lines. There's a maximum of 4 lines you can draw. I've pretty much given away, if you watch my cursor there, how to solve the puzzle. But you can go You can go outside the box with the lines. You can stick inside the box. There's no rules to where you can draw it to on the page. But with only drawing 4 lines, you have to go through every dot on that square. And the way to solve that is to go. You have to go outside the box. So you'd go through the first 3 lines, and you need to go further out of the first line to about over here. Then you have to do another straight line through these 2 dots here, all the way back to this corner here. Then another line back down here to this dot, and then from here you go back through these 2, and then that's using 4 lines, because a lot of people go 1, 2, 3, 4, and you can't get to the last dot. So it's quite a common puzzle. Now, to allow, you would need, I've kind of done this with a laser, but to turn the laser, because this dot's in the way, to turn the laser on these last ones, I had to just realign them slightly. So these were lined up along this edge, and these were lined up. That was right. That way. No, these were lined up along this edge, if I remember rightly. Or was it that edge? No, I'm pretty sure it was. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was that edge. That's right. So I actually had to, because these first ones are offset, I also needed to offset the laser to match. Otherwise it wouldn't be solvable. So this offsets it so you can fit a cube next. I didn't quite offset it like that. I can't remember how I offset it. I think it might be like so. Anyway, you get the point. So I offset it so you could fit a cube, because obviously you can't block the first laser. The laser's got to go around, and you've got to, because I think you could set a block here just after the laser. So they must have been offset to this side. So the laser's coming along here, and you can put a cube just before it gets back to this laser here and send it down there. So yeah, I can't bother to change where the laser is. And these were all just connected up to the exit door. So he needed to send the laser through all of these to exit. Once he sends the lasers through all those dots, he'll be able to exit and complete the chamber. So that is my Tower of Frustration 2. Now, to say I had to limit a lot of the puzzles down, so I do plan, depending on the theme, on in the future, a Tower of Frustration 3 where I can, because I don't have to use glass to create a level because it's a maximum size map. So I am going to do a Tower of Frustration 3 at some point in the future. I have to see what the themes are, what Rage gives. When he gives me a theme that I can use, say the standing still theme's really good because you've just got to solve the puzzles and get dropped down. So yeah, this was my chamber for this week. So if you would like to watch it, jump across to Rage's channel. I'll leave the link in the description below. And so I hope you enjoyed watching me build this map. You can catch me again next week. Next week, I'm actually at a festival in the UK. I'm at a download festival, so if this is up late, I come back on the Monday, so this might not be launched straight away after Rage on the Sunday. It might be launched on the Monday, possibly Tuesday morning, depending how hungover I am from the festival. So this my Let's Build will be up late next week. I usually have my computer on at all times, and I can control my computer from my phone. So as long as I have some charge left on my phone, I probably would have already recorded my Let's Build for next week. So I can hopefully just need to upload it via my phone if I've got enough battery left. If not, it'll be on the Tuesday. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you want to watch Rage's channel, it'll be in the link. If you want to like and subscribe, please do so. And if you can vote for me, even better. So thank you guys. I hope you enjoyed.